Hello, and how you doing? And welcome back to Two Jagoffs. I am your host, Austin Carnes, joined here with
Lucas Coons.
And welcome back to Two Jagoffs, and welcome to our very special weekly Thursday episode. And ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing you a big one. As you can see, we are here live in Point Park's Media Hub today, and we're bringing back a very special guest, a guest who is actually returning to Two Jagoffs. That's right. He is the first ever guest outside of Kevin Homa that is a returning guest from an interview. Please welcome the one, the only, Robby Incmikoski. Robby, how's it going today? Good to see you.
Don't clap for me, Lucas, you jack off.
Yeah, no claps at all.
What's going on here?
You know what? We got some unsettled beef.
Wait a minute, hold on. I want to get something straight here.
Yes.
You said I'm the first returning guest besides Kevin Homa?
Besides Kevin. Kevin is a really good friend.
So that would make me the second.
You're the second, but
returning guest.
So here's the thing with Kevin. The reason why I'm saying you're the first is Kevin's actually now part of the team. So Kevin joined the team. You're the first ever guest that's returning. That's going to be like a returning special. And plus, Kevin's not a name brand guy. You're a name brand guy.
All right, I appreciate that.
Kevin's my best friend from high
Consider
school.
me a name?
Yeah.
A name brand guy.
You're a notable name. You're a household name, I'd say.
I'm like Kirkland's brand, right?
Kirkland's brand.
I'm like the Target brand.
Like the Target brand.
Walmart brand.
The Walmart brand, okay.
I'm not an elite brand, but I'm still a brand nonetheless. I'm just kidding. Nice to be back here, guys. Lucas, nice to finally hang out with you and go on the air with you. Austin, good to see you again, man.
Good to
You're
see
doing
you,
some
Robby.
Good stuff, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it,
good
Robby.
stuff.
I've been all over the place, traveling so much recently.
You remind me of myself 20-something years ago.
Appreciate that, Robby.
Yeah.
Appreciate that as always.
It's good.
And a lot of the things that the viewers actually don't know is me and you have talked several times since that last interview.
Yeah.
And I got to say, thank you so much for being a great mentor, giving me some great advice, supporting me, supporting the podcast, supporting both of us. That really does mean the world to us.
You know, I think I told you this before, but I think I mentioned the names Brian Baldinger.
Yes.
Who does famously known for Baldy's breakdowns in the NFL, very popular guy. He and a guy named Kurt Menefee, who hosts the NFL and Fox pregame show, those two guys were my mentors. And those guys have done really well in their careers and in their lives and everything. And the one thing they've always said to me was, you know, I said, hey, what can I do for you? All the opportunities they created for me, the doors they opened, the calls they made on my behalf. They said, just do it for somebody else. So this is my way of paying it back to them by, you know, helping a jagoff like you get his career started. And you, if you're not going to be a jerk to me. I'm only kidding. I say this on the air jokingly because you're going into high school, or excuse me, getting out of high school, going into college. And that's pretty cool, man. I like seeing the younger generation have equipment, a beautiful studio like this.
Great studio.
This is gorgeous. What I would have done to have something like this 20 years ago would have been amazing.
Of course, and that's something I've learned too, because ever since our interview, I've also had the chance to work with so many different people in the industry, so many other broadcasters, politicians, just so many different people in so many different fields.
Yeah, of course.
And the one thing I've heard, especially with the sports industry folks, it's pay it forward, give it back, pass it down. And it's so cool and so humbling to see that, because that makes me want to do that one day. Right. And that's just another motivational stride for me to get to where I want to be.
You'll be in that position, so will you. I mean, it takes time.
It does.
You know, you gotta kind of find yourself a little bit in the business, get a couple jobs, get a little bit of confidence inside of you. I'm not inferring that you don't have it now, but the confidence you're going to have in a couple of years from now is going to be way more than what you have now. Like, you're a student, you're learning, you're getting reps, you're getting experience, and now all this, you're going to see it pay off down the road, and I'm pretty excited for you, Austin.
Thank you.
As long as you're not a Jagoff.
I don't know if I can promise that. I am Pittsburgh's favorite Jagoff.
Yeah.
So
He is the Jagoff.
I am the Jagoff of two
He's
Jagoffs.
King Jagoff.
King Jagoff.
King Jagoff.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Put that Jack. Put that in the list.
Yeah.
Put that on a T-shirt. Get a picture of Austin that says King Jagoff. By the way, I'm wearing this for you, just so everybody can see it.
By the way, I absolutely love that shirt.
Roddy Piper,
legend,
versus Bret Hart.
Bret the Hitman.
Do you remember anything about WWF wrestling?
Of course. I love the WWF.
Before you were born, but
it was before
when
I was born.
a kid, it was super fun. I love Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper is a legend. I would actually argue that he is one of the best wrestlers to never win the world title.
Yes.
It's crazy that he's never won it.
Yeah, I think that was by design, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Revisionist history now, but
revisionist history. But no, two of the greatest right there. I mean, Bret Hart, the best to do it, the Hitman. Who doesn't love the Hart Foundation?
Of course. Yeah.
So.
All right, what do you got here, man? What's on the docket, Austin?
Well, speaking of wrestling, I would like to spread some good news. So the last time you were on, we were talking about advice to pass down to, I guess, younger students and people who's getting into the broadcasting field. And I was someone who really wasn't experienced. Since that last meeting, I've called 2 wrestling events.
That's good.
That's
awesome.
Absolutely insane. That's something the viewers
Congratulations.
doesn't even know yet either. I've called IWC Wrestling
Yeah.
and 880 Wrestling down the South Side.
That's awesome.
Two great opportunities. Lucas, I know you're a big fan. You weren't at the IWC show I called, but you were at the other ones where I was running ringside camera.
Are you a wrestling guy too?
I am a wrestling guy. Not as big as he is. Like, I couldn't talk to you about WWF, but
Yeah.
I keep up. I've kept up a lot whenever I was growing up. A little less recently, but I'm big into the indies right now. He got me into the indies, so IWC's my thing right now.
I want wrestling to be a thing again. I mean, it's never going to be what the WWF was, like Hulk Hogan, Mean Gene Okerlund, and
Of course.
Macho Man Randy Savage, and Junkyard Dog, and Iron Sheik.
Oh,
and all
Junkyard
those guys.
Dog, that's my
there were
guy.
so many of them. So but I like seeing, what John Cena, was a big name. He's been around for decades too. But
Yeah, Cena's on his retirement tour right now, actually.
Yeah.
He only has 14 more shows left, and then he's done.
so
actually,
sad.
in my book, I have a couple wrestlers. One of them, Brian Myers, who goes by
Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in my book. He's a big Mets fan and a big
Is he?
baseball fan. So I have him in my
Oh, boy, not the Mets.
my upcoming book. Yeah, I know, but it's pretty cool, man. And Corey Graves, a local guy here.
Did
who,
you meet Corey?
Yeah,
Austin's jealous.
yeah.
Very.
Are you a big fan of his?
That's my guy right there. So here's a funny story. Every time that I've had a chance to meet Corey Graves, it's just it never worked out. Either something popped up with family, I was out of town, I
Right.
didn't know about it until the day after.
Right.
Every single time that I had a chance to meet Corey Graves, I missed my opportunity.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get him on the podcast for you. We'll
That
see if
is
we can
the
bring
hope.
him in here.
Bernie, actually, the dean of Point Park School of Comm, he was talking to Corey Graves recently about trying to get him down here for an
Right.
event. And he brought up my name, and he was like, "Hey, Corey, I have this kid named Austin Carnes, big wrestling guy, he's commentating, doing all this stuff. Do you happen to know him?" And he's like, "I think I've seen him on social media before. That name sounds so familiar." And I'm
That's
like,
how now you're becoming a big shot.
I was
I'm surprised
shocked.
you still invite people like me on here. People like
Come on, Robbie. Hey, I had a
I'm
rule.
kidding, yeah.
Every single guest that came on before has an open invite back.
All right, that's good. That's
Every
a good
single
rule.
guest.
Awesome.
And the
I
cool
like
thing
that.
is, too, every guest so far has taken us up on that. Like the wrestler Andrew Powis recently did a promo with
Good.
us.
Yep.
We have Jason Earl from University of Pitt. He'll be coming back
Good,
on
yep.
later this year.
It's great.
You're here, which is awesome.
I love it, man. I love it.
So
Where were we? We were talking. Oh, yeah, did
Wrestling.
two wrestling events, which is awesome. I mean, get as many reps as you can,
many reps as you can, and
which is what I tell everybody to do, and you're out there doing it. Good for you.
of course. So I want to ask you this question though. So I'm doing a lot of behind the scenes and camera work, and a lot of people here don't understand that. A lot of people think like you can just jump right into it and be a broadcaster day one, but you can't call the Pirates and Yankees the next day. It just doesn't work like that. You got to start from the bottom, work your way to the top. Why do so many people like not understand that? Like, do you notice that with my generation? Because I'll be honest, my generation is a killer at that. and
You
it
ask
sucks.
you ask a hell of a question, and you raise a great point. I don't know how honest I should or shouldn't be on certain things, but I do have feelings about that specifically. And seeing somebody like you, a young kid like you, who has yet to be, who has yet to spend a day in college, but yet you're here on your own time, and doing this kind of stuff. You're doing this, making note a little money to do this. But what you realize is that the repetitions that you're getting are priceless, right? Like
Right.
you're spending time doing real interviews in front of a real camera, with a real microphone and a real headset on, and that is priceless. And the one thing I've come to realize is that our business, and part of this is on the executives, it's not on the kids. Jobs get handed out a lot sooner than they should. I see people on Major League Baseball. I'm not inferring anyone specifically, so I don't want anything to be taken out of context. It's all over the league, and it's all over broadcasting, where you look at people, and and not just me. There are other broadcasters who I speak to, and they would say, "How does this person end up with this job?"
Yeah.
The route of earning a job just isn't there anymore. It's who's popular on social media, who looks good enough, who will draw people, and they get jobs. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry with anything that happened to me. I'm here to pay it forward. I've had a 16-year run as a Major League Baseball announcer, so I'm thankful for everything. So I know some of these comments sometimes can be taken out of context, or this my answer could be spliced up and put to make it sound like I'm a bad guy or anything like that. But the fact remains, and this is just a fact, jobs get handed to those who haven't earned them. And people who have been in the business for a long time, again, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to, because these are people I talk to
of course.
who are pissed off that these same opportunities are going to people who have done very, very little to earn it. Sometimes just above nothing to earn it. That said, sometimes all people need is an opportunity, and that's what I got, and I ran with it. I took 0 broadcasting classes and ended up for 16 years as a host and reporter in baseball, football, basketball, hockey. doing those types of things at the highest level. And I've been very, very fortunate to do it. So the business has been dumbed down a little bit, I guess, if we're being honest. But the one thing I will say, and I've heard this said before with people, and I firmly believe this, I've never seen people, I should say not never, but rarely, very rarely have I seen people consistently do the right thing and get the wrong result. So you putting all this work ethic in, doing wrestling shows, doing podcasts, putting yourself out there on social media. You're putting yourself out there. You can get ridiculed for what you're doing. You're just putting yourself out there, but that's our business.
And
you
I have
to do it.
Sad.
Right, and you have to do it, but that's part of the business, right?
Yep.
But when I see people like you, Austin, who are consistently doing the right thing, it reminds me a lot, like I told you myself, and I think you're going to see the results over time. I don't know how long it's going to take. I can't tell you that there's a linear path. It's almost like when you look at a baseball player, somebody could be a high draft pick or a football player, right? Mm-hmm. They could spend time in the minors or as a backup, and sometimes they become superstars. Sometimes they don't pan out because development is not linear. Does that make sense? So it's not like, hey, you're going to do X, Y, and Z. And Lucas, you're going to step into Point Park and you're going to do this by year 1, this by year 2, and by year 4, you're going to step into a job making X amount of money. I'd be lying to you if I said that was going to happen. And same thing goes for you. Mm-hmm. But when I see somebody like you do the things that you're doing, I think the results are going to come out in your favor, if that makes sense.
It makes 100% sense, and I really do appreciate the kind words as well. And the thing is, and I will say, because I see it every single day and I'm around most of these students, I wouldn't say entitlement, but it's kind of laziness.
There's a little bit of both.
There is a little bit
of hand it to me type thing. But here's the thing. In time, look, anybody could be an influencer, right? Like you meet all these. I've met these people before to have like hundreds of thousands of followers, right? And you meet them, and I'm like, how does this person have 100-something thousand followers?
Oh yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of substance there. It's a lot of show, and there's a camera. And there's a little bit of, planning that goes into it. But when you go on TV or the radio or online and you're on camera, on the air, if you don't do the work, you're going to be exposed. And we're all going to know.
Yep.
Because it's obvious. Maybe not every fan's going to know, but those of us in the business, and more importantly, those making employment decisions are going to know. Those that are looking to hire young, hungry people like you, they're going to know. So if you put the work in, your confidence is going to be there naturally, and that's going to shine through, as opposed to some of the stuff that we see right now where it's kind of a little bit of bluster and a lot of nonsense and not a lot of depth. Does that make sense, or I sound like an idiot?
You don't sound like an idiot at all. You are speaking 100% facts, and I see it all the time with my generation, and it's obvious. And Lucas, I mean, you can probably agree with me too. You went to so many people in high school that are just like screwing off, thinking it's a joke,
right?
Class clowns. And I see these people in this industry, especially like because we have a UView program here, which is like our own little television station, which prepares us for like live TV segments. So we have Sideline, which is like our ESPN, Daybreak, which is like our Tonight Show or Today Show, Late Night Snooze, like Saturday Night Live, whatever. It's like a bunch of different shows on TV.
Right.
And I see so many people that like don't take it as a joke. They're on their phone the entire time. They're joking around behind the scenes. They're not going through and reading scripts. They're not going through and talking things over before the camera hits. And then there's those very few that's preparing their notes. It's actually sitting there talking, being like going up to the camera guy. Oh, hey, I'm going to look at the camera this. Oh, let's pan to this. And those are the people that's going to make it.
But those are the habits. But that's where habits get developed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you hear athletes talking about people that train when no one's looking. Or that, right? Like when you're putting in the work. Nowadays, everybody does the work and they have to put themselves on camera to show that they're doing the work. Well, that's your friggin' job. Like it's like nothing drives me crazier than when I see like athletes posting these videos of themselves working out in the off season. Like,
do it.
That's what you get paid to do. Like, why are you telling us? I don't give a shit. Oh, excuse me. Am I allowed to
No, you say whatever the hell you want, Bobby.
Like, I don't give a shit that you're running up hills or you have a weighted vest. Like, you get paid millions of dollars.
You do get
paid. That
is
your job. So give it a rest. So the same thing, like the same thing goes for like you. Yeah, there are people that are going to screw around, right?
Right.
Behind the camera, and they're going to, not do the work, and then you think you could step on camera. Those are the people that get exposed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's plainly, I can look at a broadcast and know like that whether somebody did their work or not. I could tell immediately. And you could tell if they're just putting enough together to do a sideline hit or a play-by-play guy or an analyst. Like, you know who's doing their homework and who's not. So don't worry about necessarily. I'm not implying that you are.
No, not at all,
But when you see all these other people screwing off, you know who's got to deal with that? They are, not you.
Yeah.
You're going to see your results. They're going to see theirs. Some people are naturally talented enough they can get away with it, and those are people that quite honestly, I wish I could punch in the face. Because I didn't.
Just turn into Bret Hart and put him in a little sharpshooter. You know?
Yeah. Or, who did the
RKO?
Yeah, RKO. Yeah.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. That's right. I'm not the big. I was a WWF fan, and after WWF, I stopped.
Hey, you got the motion right. You got the motion.
Right.
Kevin will get a good laugh out of that later.
Yeah, like I want to crush somebody sometimes. I'm like, man, I wish I was as talented as you were. But I'm a guy like you. I had to work as hard as I could to get the most out of my talents. And quite frankly, I wasn't blessed with the greatest natural ability or the greatest voice. I had to learn. When I was with the Pirates, Austin, I've never actually talked about this publicly, and I'm happy to do it now. But I struggled with. I hosted a show called Inside Pirates Baseball.
Okay.
I worked with a producer named Jack Becker, who is just the best in the business. He's unbelievable at doing in-depth, long-form features. There's nobody better in the business than Jack at doing it. But for whatever reason, I would have an intro, and he would hand me this sheet, and Jack was real particular. Like, he didn't want me to miss a word. Like, I couldn't miss the word right? And I really struggled with taking somebody else's words and making them mine.
Yeah.
So for one off season, in about 2000, it was either 2014 or 15. I can't remember which offseason specifically it was, but it was early in my tenure with the Pirates. I actually worked with a voice coach for the better part of about 4 or 5 months in the offseason. And my boss sat me down and said, look, I don't know what's going on here, but like, you're so good on camera, you're so good live, but for some reason I struggled when somebody would hand me a script, ask me to memorize it, go on camera and read it. I had a hard time. So I had to work with a voice coach, and I didn't talk about it. I just went and did it. And I was shocked with how much better it made me. And my point is this. When you listen to somebody talk on the air, especially a reporter, now I pay attention to that because that was my job for 16 years. My primary job for 16 years was to be a field reporter and sideline reporter in basketball, baseball, of course, and then I did hockey as well. Like, think about when somebody's talking. You hear the words, but what are they saying? Like, I hear the words coming out of your mouth, but what the hell are you saying to me? Like, are you just reading some prepared script? Or are you taking somebody else's words and making them yours and telling the story?
Telling the story.
That's what I had to work on. Does that make sense? So you talk about putting the work in. That's what happened with me.
You want to know what my generation likes to do instead of that? They use AI.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's a whole other situation too. You know, and maybe could help them write copy, but there is nothing.
Yeah, it's not natural.
Nothing is going to make somebody have confidence more than doing it. You know, and I always like writing my own stuff. And my marketing guy I'm working with on my book, he suggests that all the time with certain things. And I'm like, sometimes I just want to do stuff in my own words. Maybe when this is done, I'm going to explore a lot more into it and see how helpful it is, because I do believe it's an incredible benefit for people. And we're seeing it all over the world right now. But for me, getting those reps and doing as much as you can without blasting all over Facebook and X and Instagram and everywhere and all over social media to tell the world what you're doing. Just do the work and let the results show.
Absolutely.
Do I sound like an old angry man right now?
You don't sound like an old angry man.
Lucas, do I? Are you going to like go tell your mom and dad like this guy Robbie's so bitter and angry?
No.
What do you got? You've been quiet. Talk to me.
That was just not what I was expecting. Or that I sound like an old angry man is not what I thought of.
All right. Well, then what did you think?
I don't know what I thought. I thought you were just, inspirational speaker, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll go with that one.
Inspirational. Like TED Talk over here. Motivation. You know those TED Talks?
Really? You're only saying that because of the audio clip I showed you.
Oh, yeah. He made fun of me because when we were on the phone the one time, I'm a big history nerd. I learn about the presidents and wars, and I started giving a history lesson on the phone to bore him out because he was annoying me.
Right.
And he said, "Oh, I guess this is TED Talk with Ted." So I guess I'm Ted now.
One of his nicknames given to him by his boss was Ted one day. So
Because you're always giving mini TED Talks to people.
He was drunk off Fireball and said I look like Ted. I'm serious.
I could see somebody going, "This is Ted."
You can see it?
Nice to meet you.
All right, let me ask you this.
maybe you do look like a Ted then.
You kind of could be a Ted.
Great, I'm Ted now. Well, Robbie, I didn't ask you this the last time. Since Lucas here, he's going to get a good laugh out of this. I'm probably taking your question. I'm sorry. Do I look like President John F. Kennedy? I don't know if you've seen the clips or not, but he thinks I do. Social media thinks I do. They think I do.
About 10 interview guests think.
10 guests do. 3,000 listeners do.
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like I feel like you in the suit looks a lot more like it than you in the Minnesota Wild
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
You look like maybe like a Timu JFK.
Like like if you had the suit back on with like
Like
little
a Timu
if you were here with the suit on and like the American flag pin, I feel like that would be better.
That's a good one. I gotta give you that one, Robby.
Yeah,
Timu John F. Kennedy.
Timu JFK.
Timu JFK.
Timu JFK.
I don't really see it, but
You don't see it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
yeah,
good. I'm glad.
I mean, that's not a bad. I mean, didn't everybody think he was like a beautiful man? Like,
I mean,
from what I hear, was he like our best looking president ever?
I guess if Jackie
know.
Kennedy, Marilyn Monroe, who knows?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know how big Marilyn Monroe was?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
She was
I
huge.
wasn't alive, but I know how big Marilyn was.
She was so popular.
Like, who would Marilyn Monroe be today?
Ooh, that's a good question. Who would Marilyn Monroe be today? Prettiest woman.
Like, would it be I mean, not so much like Taylor Swift? Like, in terms of captivating the world. I'm not asking like what people's personal opinion is, but on that kind of global scale.
In terms of like people knowing her, then yeah, probably
like
Taylor
a global scale. Isn't
Yeah.
Taylor Swift probably the biggest entertainer?
I would probably
Probably.
say Taylor. Yeah.
Like of this generation?
Taylor. Sabrina Carpenter's on track right now though, with her new tour that she has
No
coming
way.
up. You'd be surprised. She pulls.
She's
Taylor Swift did $1 billion.
I know.
You know how hard it is to do a
Sabrina's-
billion with a B?
It is tough. I think Sabrina's on pace for that though. She's close. Her new album did really well last year. You'd be surprised, Robby.
I'm gonna sound like a jackass. I'm sure I know her music. What's her biggest song?
Probably Espresso, right?
Oh
yeah.
I know that one.
Is it Espresso?
I have a 6-year-old niece who makes me play the Kids Bop version.
Oh,
When I drive
God.
her to school, I pull up the song on YouTube, and she asks for the Kids Bop version
Yeah.
when I drive her to
Kids
school.
Bop version. I'm not gonna lie, that's in my playlist.
But anyway, so yeah.
The Kids Bop version?
No, not the Kids Bop
Oh,
version.
okay.
The regular
Okay, I was
version.
gonna say.
Why not? Why are you ashamed of that? You shouldn't be.
No, I'm not ashamed of it. I have a couple
Star?
of.
She's a star.
She's a star. I've Gwen Stefani.
I know she's a big name. I know who she is. I just don't know exactly what her music
Yeah.
is.
Well,
I'm
Luca-
showing myself. I'm exposing myself for.
Yeah, I feel like we're all exposing ourselves right now.
We are. We all got Sabrina Carpenter playlist. All the Kids Bop version.
Actually, I don't have her in my
the
playlist.
outro music on the end here.
Okay, I had a little espresso on the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We don't have any sponsors. Why not? Yeah.
I'll show you how to do it.
There's-
Little
okay.
Sabrina Carpenter on the way out.
Lucas,
Where are we going with this?
I don't know, Lucas.
It's
I've been talking a lot. Let me pass it over to you for a little bit. I'm sorry I keep taking your time. I keep asking,
Lucas.
taking over your
Say
questions.
something for once.
Well, I do have somewhat of a question from the last time you were here.
Yeah.
Did you? So since you were here last, this isn't like a meaningful question. It's kind of like a jokey question.
Yeah, that's all right.
Have you adapted the Jagoff motivation? Have you embraced being a Jagoff? Because one of our last interviewers, Angelo, he said that the people that come on here don't understand that they need to become a Jagoff.
Well, how do you?
What was Angelo's way of describing it?
What do you mean, like to be a Jagoff?
Remember, he said like the guests that come on here don't like appreciate being a Jagoff.
Yeah, I would say.
Jagoff could be a badge of honor, though, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be a badge of honor.
It's like our Pittsburgh thing.
I mean,
It's right here. Hey, Robby, I think you're one of the first people that actually embraced the Jagoff gimmick the last time you were
Yeah.
here. You like started off the episode. You're like, I'm a Jagoff today. Let's do
yeah,
it.
yeah. But so let me ask you this, and I'm not being sarcastic. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, because I see it a lot of time. Like, people like. I walk around Pittsburgh, right? People are like, oh, he's such a Jagoff. I love that guy, you know? Or like, he's a Jagoff. No, and I really mean he's a Jagoff. But I think of it in a good context here. Like, because I always think like, all right, Austin, he's such a little Jagoff. But like, I root for you. Like, I want you to do well in your career.
Yeah.
You know? And
In terms of endearment.
right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like when we were kids, you know what our word was in South Philly growing up?
Oh, what was it?
Asshole. Be like, he's such an asshole. Or like, you're an asshole, you know? And it was like, once I got called an asshole, I knew he liked me, you know? So is it kind of the same way here?
It's the same way.
I think it's
that
the
what you
same
mean by
way.
this? How old are you? 18?
18
When you turn 19?
February.
I got an 18-year-old calling me a Jagoff.
Isn't
I
that
could
crazy?
borderline be your grandfather.
Taking the Jagoff
Taking
abuse.
shit from this kid. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. No, but how do you like? What is your perception of a Jagoff?
I would say, I mean, I think this is also what kind of like Angelo meant behind it. I think like, because a lot of
And Angel's
people,
another host.
Angelo Gargara was 2 guests ago. He actually is a teacher here. He taught us a podcasting class as
Nice,
well.
great
Great
Love
guy.
it. Love
yeah,
it.
he helped
Yep, love it.
Austin
Yep.
and us behind the scenes with a lot of stuff. But I think like because like a lot of people that don't live in Pittsburgh, I feel like whenever they get called something else or like hear like the Pittsburgh meanings, they just kind of like brush it to the side, think it's like some stupid slang that we
No,
say.
you gotta embrace it.
Yeah, you gotta embrace it.
Part of the culture here.
And I feel like I feel like a lot of people here now like don't really even like embrace like the Yinzer.
It took me a while to understand, like to understand like that Jagoff was a term of endearment. Like because there's another podcast called Ya Jagoff.
Yeah.
You know, so if somebody sees that, because I was actually asked to go on that podcast when I was with the Pirates, so I had to prove every interview that I did with my bosses, right? And I said, hey, these people that run Ya Jagoff, my boss, I'm in his office, he goes, Ya Jagoff, and I'm like, he's like, how are you benefiting by going on Ya Jagoff? I'm like, it's just a term. Like, it's not anything, it's not meant to be offensive, and they have a pretty good following. They do shows on KDK radio, John Chamberlain, the main guy who I believe is the founder of it, with a lady named Rachel, and they did it, and it's like they have a huge Pittsburgh following. So I'm here for it. So if you want to call me a Jagoff, call me a Jagoff anytime.
I will call you a Jagoff.
And you can. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Call me a Jagoff right now.
You're a Jagoff.
Thank you.
He's a home back.
Right.
So, Robby, here's the other
How do you
crazy.
feel after saying that?
I feel great.
All right.
So here's the craziest part to add on to that. So many people have even told me behind the scenes, maybe you should change your podcast name. You know, you're getting into a career and you've been someone who's worked with so many different professionals out there.
Yeah.
Maybe you can back me up on this. I don't think the two Jagoffs term is an offensive term or anything I should have to worry about changing, because if people thought it was offensive and it would ruin their character or ruin their brand, I don't think Bill Hillgrove and Tyler Palka would have joined the podcast, or so many other people.
Exactly. The only thing, first of all, yes. The only thing I wouldn't say is you don't want to get too close to the podcast I mentioned, Ya Jagoff.
What's up with Yud? I've seen them
But
before.
you can put it in there, but you don't want to make it look like you're lifting, you know, like you're kind of copying or imitating what they're doing. But that's the only real thing. But that's not intentional. That's just you guys calling yourselves two Jagoffs. But other than that, I don't think there's a problem with it. But it depends the audience you're trying to get. If you're keeping it within Pittsburgh, I think a large majority of your people would understand. But if you're going national and you bring on, you know, somebody who's not familiar with what the term Jagoff means in the city of Pittsburgh, they may look at you like, who is this moron? Why is he doing that? Or who are these two morons? You know what I mean? So you might deal with a little bit of that, but I would smile and laugh and just say, hey, Google Jagoff.
Google Jagoff
And just say, hey, we're self-deprecating. And I've always, you know, been a pretty self-deprecating person because I don't ever believe that I was better than anyone else, or, you know, look, I made my living for 16 years on television, but that didn't make me better than anyone else. I just happened to make my living doing television, and it was just a job. I never took it home with me. You know, I never took it out with me to dinner, to a bar, or with my friends, or at a wedding, or anywhere. It was just happened to be how I made my money, and people wanted to talk to me, and that was really cool. But ultimately, I'm just a Jagoff like you two.
Just a Jagoff like us too.
Right. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
No, I like that answer.
Yeah.
How's your book coming along? It's been a while since
Doing
we've talked
all
about
right.
your book.
So at the time of this taping, it's going to be different by the time it hits the air. But right now, at the moment of taping this, I'm just waiting to get the whole manuscript, which is kind of exciting and scary all at once. But all the content is done. We've already read each chapter. We've seen it previewed. We've seen chapter by chapter, but now we put everything together and we review the whole thing as a book. We have highlight pieces in between each division. We're going to divvy it up by division. It's called Sacred Grounds. Website, Robby, it's ROBBYINC.com/book if anybody's interested. And anybody on here, use the code FRIEND10. Knock $10 off to anybody watching this podcast right now.
Shouts out. There we go.
You
Hook
can
up the
promote
Jagoff
that.
Mafia.
You can put that on your social media if you want. Anybody who's from yours will knock $10 off the price. But you know, it's going well, and I appreciate you asking that, Austin. It's been a hell of a process, to be honest with you. I interviewed 122 different people for the book.
Wow.
There's going to be some big names. It's a whole website as well as a book.
If you can answer, you don't have to.
No, go
I'll
ahead.
put you on the spot. Who would you say some of these big names are?
So
Who someone we might know.
you're going to know. How much baseball do you follow? A lot?
I follow a good bit of baseball.
So you'll probably know about 30 to 40. You're going to know about 60 to 70.
Wow.
I would
Jeez.
say.
Okay.
Some people are behind the scenes that nobody knows. Like I interviewed
I
a
ask one
lady named
question?
Denise Thomas. She's the press dining server at the Cincinnati Reds ballpark.
Yeah, I won't know.
But but that's part of the gig of that's part of the bit is getting to know who these people are that make baseball what it is. So I shine a light on some of those people. So
I actually kind of like that, like giving the spotlight to some people that like do a lot, but no one would know about.
Correct.
I think that's really cool.
That was kind of the goal.
I think that's really cool.
How they help make baseball function.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start a second book probably around November. It's not going to be a photo book as lengthy as the current one that I'm working on. This one's going to be shorter. But where we go in a little more detail. This is a lot of short stories that we have. I don't know exactly how many stories. I'd have to go back and count. But we have 30 chapters with each ballpark being a chapter, plus a bonus chapter on the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And then we had people do highlight pieces in between each division where people just kind of, you get a break from the stories and get to read a long form story from someone. It's going to take you about 5-6 minutes to get through. So I got Chuck D. Do you know the group Public Enemy? Flavor Flav and Chuck D.
Yeah,
showing my
I
generations
think I saw that on your
here.
Facebook, actually.
Yeah. So Chuck D. Wrote a highlight piece for me, which was outstanding. I got Brian Baldinger, who wrote a cool highlight piece for me. And his angle, so Chuck D talks about his love for the game of baseball. And back in the day, and I'm not making a joke at your ages, you wouldn't know because you were not born yet, but Chuck D was a culture changer back in the late 80s, early 90s. Fight the Power was his biggest song, and it was the biggest thing in music in terms of hip-hop, rap. That was as big as it got in the music game. And now to say that he's a friend, a colleague, however you want to call it, he sent me a text a couple weeks ago with his new album, with the Dropbox to his new album. And I'm like, what is my life right now? I used to grow up singing his songs when I was your age, and he was the biggest thing. So come to find out, he's a huge baseball fan. Loved the Mets growing up. Got turned off by the strike in 1994. But that man can name the starting lineup of countless, maybe not the whole starting lineup, but if you talk about teams of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, he could name 10 players at least on every team right now off the top of his head.
That's crazy.
That's
He
great.
can name 10 players at teams from the 60s. He can tell you who they were, what position they played.
Historian, huh?
He waited for autographs just like we did as kids. I know I did. I'm sure you guys collect autographs when you were a kid as well. You go to a game. Baldy did a piece, Brian Baldinger, at Baldy NFL. Follow him. He's unbelievable if you're into football. Nobody knows more about football than him.
Got to get Baldy on eventually.
I would love to get him on. He'd be happy to come on your podcast. He wrote a piece about, so he played 13 years in the NFL, and he talks about the pace of play in baseball versus football. So think about football, right? Like in football, every 30 seconds, you have a play with violent collisions, multiple collisions happening every play. Big plays, interceptions, sacks, fumbles, everything in between, big hits, everything that happens on the field, right? And think about the game of baseball. In 30 seconds, you might not even have a pitch thrown, right? So that gives you time to tell a story. And you can get into talking about somebody's brother, sister, mom, dad, niece, nephew, wife, kid, anything. And you have time to appreciate the beauty of baseball. So he goes in depth about that. Local meteorologist, Mary Hours.
Mary, yeah.
Mary's fantastic. I called her and I asked her to write a piece in my book.
That's great.
And I said, hey, here's what I would like you to do. She's very well respected in the city of Pittsburgh and beyond. She does, a bunch of TikTok videos, and she's so much fun. She's a wife, she's a mom, and she's just a lot of fun. And I'm drawn to people like her and how awesome they are. So I called her and I said, hey, would you do me a favor and write a piece on how weather affects baseball games? Now, she doesn't know a lot about baseball, so I kind of guided her a little bit in that, hey, here are the cities in which weather impacts a game. And she went and did her own research and came up with a whole piece on basically how balls drag in hot air and how they can die in cold air. And it's wild. It's wild. So we have just a lot of stuff like that. Joe Buck wrote a piece for me.
Oh, that's my guy right there. I love Joe Buck.
Joe's great.
Love Joe.
Matt Vasgersian wrote a piece in there for me. Kenny Albert, who calls the Stanley Cup
Kenny
Finals.
too.
Kenny's the best. One of my closest.
Y'all better go order that book. That's all I know.
What's that?
I said they better go order that book. That's all I know.
Yeah, Kenny wrote a book too. But yeah, but anyways, yeah. So it's a lot of stuff like that. Just a lot of crazy stories. I interviewed the guy that gave up Barry Bonds' 756th home run.
That's great.
Mike Bassick in 2007, and basically how that kind of impacted his life.
Yeah.
How he kind of sort of got on the map because he gave up that homer. He had a couple cups of coffee as a big leaguer, and that was it.
That's incredible.
So a bunch of stories like that. A lot of short stories, short reading, great photographs. If you're into baseball, you're going to love this book, I promise.
And I know both of us are in the baseball. We're actually going to bounce to a second. I know you're over there eager to talk about the Pirates, but I got to ask just one question real quick about the book.
Yeah.
Is Roger Lenhart in there somewhere? Good old Roger.
He's not in print, but I should put Roger in there.
I think Roger would be a great one.
Yeah, Roger was your professor, right?
Love Roger.
At PPU. and he was my former boss at Root Sports / AT&T Sports.
You might have beef with him now, actually. He just came on the podcast about a month ago, and he may or may not have called you a Jagoff at the end, too.
Raj.
So, Roger cut a promo. I'm going to give the floor to you for a sec, Robbie, before we talk about the Pirates.
Drink another Pepsi with no ice, Raj.
It's so funny you said that
Because you, sir, you're a Jagoff too, Roger Lenhart. And I hope you see this. Everybody else, I love you. But Roger Lenhart, you're a Jagoff.
Oh. It's funny because
Show that to him.
I plan on it now. I plan on it. He'll be back here next fall.
Yeah.
He'll be back here this fall.
Cut that video and send it to him.
Got you. We'll do it as soon as we're done
I
cutting
want to
cameras
see
here.
his response.
It's funny you say that.
He's actually a wonderful guy. I wouldn't be where I am without Roger. He's a wonderful man.
Great, man. It's funny they said
Still a
that.
Jagoff.
Still a Jagoff, but the no ice thing, he actually brought that up in the interview to me, and it was so hilarious. Because we're both really picky with food. Like, he's playing Jane with his food. I'm playing Jane with my food. So
he would always walk around the office, and everywhere we went to eat dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever it was, press dining, he was Pepsi no ice every time. So one time for Halloween, Dave Ricchini, who's my coworker, who was also worked for Roger, he dressed as Roger Lenhart for Halloween. So he put like this like a wig of a bald guy on, put a West Virginia sweatsuit on, and grabbed a bottle of Pepsi and wrote on a piece of white tape on it, "No ice."
that's amazing. That's a great.
There's a picture of it somewhere of Dave Ricchini dressed as Roger Lenhart for Halloween, and it's hilarious.
Oh, we gotta find that. We gotta find that picture. That's incredible. Well, I know we do want to bounce to the Pittsburgh Pirates. We didn't really have a chance to talk too much about it last time you were on, so I'll pass it over to Lucas. I've been talking a lot, Lucas. I apologize. I'm a yapper over here, but go kick us off with the Pirates.
So, the Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirates.
So my first question to you about the Pirates is the probably most covered question here in Pittsburgh. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen to Paul Skeens? Whenever,
because the first thing I think is going to win the Cy Young Award this year. That's the first thing I think that's going to happen. And what do you mean? Like, what's going to happen?
So I know,
you're talking about like
after
he's gonna go pitch for the Red Sox or Yankees
after his contract's up. I know me and Austin have talked about this.
Why is that the first question though? I mean, you're right. It is. It is. You're not wrong. But why is that always the first question?
It's always the first question. I have a great answer for you.
Go ahead.
It's because, at least from what I've noticed, you've worked with the Pirates, so maybe you can relate more to this than I can. From an outsider's perspective, it seems like management within the Pittsburgh Pirates organization does not want to give in to the players that have established themselves as name brands. What I mean by that is we've seen so many players come into the city of Pittsburgh, won so many awards, won us some games, put up monstrous numbers, had monstrous seasons, and yet when it comes time for that big payday, we just don't see it. Key Brian Hayes was probably one of the most recent big name players that we've
Brian
seen.
Reynolds too,
Brian Reynolds is another one.
And
Mitch Keller is great. Hopefully O'Neal Cruz is in that lineup soon as well. But it just seems like there are so many players over the last several, maybe even a decade of years that has not gotten that contract that they deserve. And Paul Skeens, I mean, we all can agree, arguably one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. He's going to get that big pay sooner.
I think he's the best pitcher in baseball.
I would say he is too.
I don't
want to have that Pirates bias here, but I think he is. Is he actually going to get paid that well-deserved contract he deserves? It's a question that so many ask.
Let me get back to that's a good answer to your question. What I think, look, nobody knows. Nobody knows, right? It doesn't matter what I say right now because it's irrelevant because I have no input on what happens with Paul Skeens, right? I have no say over that. But clearly there's a trend with what's happened. How I think the Pirates could have benefited, and this is just my personal opinion, I have not spoken to anyone, I would have walked up to Paul Skeens. He got drafted in 2023. I would have walked up to him spring training 2024 and said, here's 200 or 250 million. And we're going to buy out your arbitration years or your pre-arb, which is usually 3, then your arbitration years, which is another 3, and then a year or 2 of free agency. I would have given him 7 or 8 years and $200 million. Now, if you're Paul Skeens, you have 2 options. You take $200 million guaranteed before even throwing one single pitch in the big leagues. That's number 1. He could turn out to be Paul Skeens, what he's been the first 2 years, which would have been at this going rate in baseball, he would have been a massive underpay. Not massive at $30 million a year. Let's not call that underpay by any stretch.
Oh, yeah.
But let's just say there are pitchers making more than him that he's a significantly better player than a lot of those pitchers, right? So that's the first thing. And if he, God forbid, something happens, an injury, something happens, he's still got $200 million in the bank, which pretty sure you can live off of that. $200 million is probably enough to make a living off of. Would you say?
I would hope so.
I would really hope so. Yeah. I mean, if you're smart with your money,
So I wanted you to laugh at the joke.
Pays for both our tuition.
Yeah.
and more.
Right. But then the risk shifts obviously from Skeens to the Pirates. But if you're Paul Skeens at 21 years old, getting $200 million, you could sign for 7 years. You're a free agent at 28. Juan Soto got how much?
$765 million.
$765.
Yep.
What the hell would Paul Skeens get? Look at Shohei Ohtani gets $700 million. So he already has made $200. If he is the pitcher that everybody thinks he is going to become and sustains that for a half a decade or longer, which is very hard to do in the game of baseball, it's hard to do. But what kind of money would he get, right? So the first thing, if I were the Pirates, I would have went up to him and said, here's $200 million, 7 years. We buy out your pre-arb, your arbitration, and 1 year free agency. And at that point, you have a 7-year window with a generational talent to build around. Now you got Mitch Keller, good pitcher.
Great pitcher.
Jared Jones, clearly drafted and developed him well. Unfortunate, he got hurt. But you mean to tell me you trot out Keller, Jones, Skeens, a productive belly falter like you've seen, and Johan Oviedo, he had a good 2023, obviously had Tommy John. Mike Burrows, you got why am I drawing a blank? Bubba Chandler, who's coming up if he ends up being good.
I hope he's good.
Harrington, you build up a solid bullpen. You have some pieces there, a good back end. Holderman was supposed to be a good back end guy. Obviously, he had a little bit of struggles this year, but like Bednar, he had his struggles, came back and saved 14 or 15 straight at the time of this recording.
I think it was 14
yeah, but whatever it is, my point is he come back and he's in dominant all-star form again. So the ship has sailed on giving him $200 million. If somebody offered him $200 million right now for 7 years, he would laugh. All right.
Would.
So you got to look at the situation. He was brought up on May 11th, I believe, and he ends up winning the Rookie of the Year, so he gets credit for the year's service time. So whatever time they kept him down to maybe get that year free agency, I don't know if that was the plan. I suspect that probably was. But again, my personal opinion only. And I don't know, I don't have any intel, so I didn't talk to anyone with the Pirates about this. So let me make that very clear. But you keep him down, now he gets the year of service time. He's going to be a Super 2, so now you're going to pay him more anyway. So when you look at the math, technically he's under the Pirates' control for 24, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So he would be a free agent before 2029. What's his value? Where are the Pirates as a franchise? Do you have O'Neal Cruz in his prime? What other players do you have? Did Jared Jones pan out? Is Bednar still in peak form? There's so many factors that come into play. What does division look like around him? What is the money like? What's the TV deal look like? So there's so many factors that come to play. So to answer your question, I think he's getting traded at the deadline this year.
Ooh.
I'm kidding. No, he's not.
I'm about to say, whoa.
Oh, that was.
About to say, that was a bombshell.
No, not at all. No. He'll be. Look, you've seen the track record. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, does Bob Nutting own a team? Who knows? But what other owner is going to come in? But I get the criticism of Bob. I get it. He doesn't spend money. I understand. But what owner is going to come in here and drop that kind of money anyways in a mid-market team without a great TV deal? You're just not seeing it. Twins didn't spend money.
Nope.
The Tampa Bay Rays don't spend a ton of money. I mean, there are just so many teams that don't spend money. So I think it's a problem with Major League Baseball to begin with, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, Bob should spend more. There's legit criticism to that, no question. But until they draft better, develop better, they're not going to be able to add these pieces or keep these big pieces until they put other pieces around them to build the championship roster. And I think they have the infrastructure to do it. We just got to see if they do it. So I think that's a long-winded way of saying we got to see how they build around Paul Skeens, because he might get pissed off and say,
He might.
"Get me out of here." You know what I'm saying?
Well, I just saw a stat. I forget what his win-loss record is right now. Do you know by chance?
I know where his stat is. I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it is, but
The
you're right.
29
If
to
he
1
got
one?
average run support, is that
if he got 4 runs a game, he'd be 29-1.
29-1. I saw that same stat. I know exactly where you were going with that.
That's crazy.
But you're right. But
Well,
that's baseball, though.
I would be mad if I was him.
Right.
They're ruining his stats.
But you know what though? But they're not ruining his stats. He's the best pitcher in baseball.
true.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Could he get more run support? Yes. But you know what? You got Brian Reynolds, who's had his ups and downs. O'Neal Cruz strikes out a lot, hits a ton of homers. You know, IKF's been a nice, pleasant surprise. Horowitz is they finally have a legit first baseman. He's had his ups and downs, right? And look, it's baseball, man. It's 162. There aren't many Mike Trouts out there. You know, like there's not a lot of Ohtani,
We could use a Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying, like the guys who consistently hit. Luis Arias in San Diego. You know, guys who are going to consistently hit 300, get a lot of hits. Look at how batting averages have just decreased overall around the game. You know, we need to get hitting back into our game. I don't know if it's teaching launch angle versus teaching line drives. You know, what the hell? Like Rod Carew has to be angry right now. If you guys remember Rod Carew, Angels and Twins, he's in the Hall of Fame. Tony Gwynn is rolling over in his grave right now. If somebody talked to him about launch angle. Tony Gwynn is arguably the greatest hitter in the history of the game. Like, go watch videos. Just watch Tony Gwynn and watch his instructional videos. Watch how he talks about carrying the barrel of the bat through the zone. I mean, it's the stuff of legends. And watch how Tony Gwynn hit the baseball. So I don't know if analytics has took a dump on the game or what. I don't know. But, like, just we need more consistent approaches to hitting. That's just my personal opinion.
I think over like the last 5-10 years, it's switched a lot more to like different pitch styles and like focusing on like pitchers more than their hitters. I feel like
pitching up in the zone and
yeah, like I feel like pitchers nowadays
RPMs.
like I feel like pitchers nowadays like they have to have so many different ways to throw. They have to be throwing like 90 miles per hour and stuff like
right.
And it's a lot more focused on them rather than the team as a whole.
Right. It's like I don't know. The game has changed. And again, I'm not trying to sound like angry old man because I still love baseball. I love watching it, but like you take a team like the Pirates, you have a generational talent like Paul Skeens, who, by all accounts, I've never met Paul Skeens. He was drafted my last year with the Pirates, so I never crossed paths with him. But I'll tell you what, everybody I've talked to that's been around him and that works with him, nobody has a negative word to say about the guy. I mean, the guy is he's like a machine from another planet. Like the way he goes about his work, how competitive he is, how regimented, what his routine is, how great a teammate he is, how much he cares about everybody else. I mean, this is a guy you want representing your franchise, you know, and I think the accolades are going to continue to pile up for him. So, I mean, your question raises an overarching discussion, Lucas, you know, and it's like you have to look at where they are as a franchise. If I had to guess, probably not going to spend his whole career in a Pirates uniform. I mean,
probably not. And that raises a great question. That's actually the question I was going to go into next, if you don't mind. We could really break down the Pirates in so many different sectors in so many different ways, and we'd be here for hours on end just talking about all the.
And nobody wants to watch that.
Nobody wants to watch that. So I'm going to ask more of a direct question.
Yeah.
The Pirates change is inevitable in any sports.
Of
and
course.
We've had one this year, a new manager taking over.
Right.
Don Kelly, a Point Park guy, actually.
Of course.
Has taken over.
And Dan Hart, by the way.
I had the chance to meet Don. Great guy. But a lot of people have a lot of criticism as him of late, and a lot of people have been blaming him and blaming previous managers, previous coaches. What's your thoughts on overall Don Kelly? I think
first of all, you're going to be very, and I know Donnie really well. You're going to have, you're not going to find anybody to have a negative word to say about Donnie Kelly. He's one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in the game of baseball. Number one. Number two, he's competitive as hell. That man wants to win. He gets fired up. He's competitive.
I think we saw that in the 3 ejections earlier this year.
That's what I'm saying. But you don't usually see that out of him. And guys can rally around a guy like that. And then look at his story, first of all, right? Do you know much about his story? He's from Point Park University, right? He was never this, widely heralded guy as, a star. But Jim Leland loved him. Mm-hmm. Jim Leland's in the Hall of Fame.
Don't mean to cut you off. I just met Leland yesterday.
He's
amazing.
Another wonderful man.
Amazing. How to start out
think
there.
of how much. Think of Jim Leland, who deservedly is in the Hall of Fame. Took way too long for him to get in there. Yeah. By the way, man should have been in there a decade ago. Maybe not a decade ago because he was still finishing up, but you get
right
my
after.
point.
Yeah,
he should have been there at least 5 years ago. He should have been in the Hall of Fame for what he's done with the teams that he's had. So, number one. Leland goes to bat for a guy like Donnie Kelly, number one. That kind of tells you all you need to know about Donnie Kelly. By the way, he actually, back in 2018, 17 or 18, I can't remember the year because it must have been 17, we were looking for our next analyst at AT&T Sportsnet for the pre- and post-game show, and we were down to Donnie Kelly and Michael McHenry. And we probably were going to use both just because of the schedule. So it wasn't like who got the job and who didn't. McHenry was just finishing his playing career with the Tampa Bay Rays. He was in AAA his final year. He didn't play in the big leagues, but he was in AAA. And then Donnie Kelly was coming off his career too and just had gotten a scouting job with the Tigers. Leland wanted him part of the organization. Then he got the first base coaching job with the Houston Astros in 2019 when they made the World Series. Lost to the Washington Nationals. But point being, his first year was coaching. He was in a World Series, right? And then he comes over with Donnie Kelly or with Derek Shelton, and Donnie Kelly becomes his bench coach, right? So that's first thing. If anybody would ever ask Miguel Cabrera, one of the greatest hitters, by the way, in the history of baseball, what does he think of Donnie Kelly? That man will smile ear to ear. Donnie Kelly did it all when he was with the Tigers. He played every position, right? And some of it was kind of gimmicky so he could do it. But the point is, he could play every position in the outfield. He could play every position in the infield. And he never was a guy that sought credit or the limelight. He's a guy that just got the most out of his talents. And when players are coming up, they look at his road and they say, that's a guy who's been there, done it. That's not a knock on Derek Shelton, because Derek Shelton really knows the game of baseball almost as well as anybody I've ever been around. Yeah, tough times happen. I get all that. It happens, man. Coaches get fired everywhere. And I love Derek Shelton the way he treated me. So none of this is a knock on Derek Shelton whatsoever. But Donnie Kelly is a guy that can really kind of fire up a team, I think, differently than most guys can because of the journey that he's traveled. You know what I mean? He's a guy that's been there and he's done that. I don't know if he's going to be the permanent manager. I hope he is, because he's a friend of mine and he's worked his ass off to get to this point. But we'll see what Bob and Ben and the rest of management decide to do with Donnie, but I think he's a guy that can really bring out the best in this franchise moving forward.
Absolutely, and I had the chance to sit in on his press conference yesterday right before the Tigers game, and just hearing the winning spirit behind his voice is like a new fire that ignites us here in Steel City, and it's something that I believe, and honestly, all of us could probably relate to this, the Pirates haven't seen in a very long time.
Right.
And I think that
he's not like a rah-rah. He's not a guy that's going to like Tomlin. I know people get, their feelings and, get butthurt about Tomlin and the things he says, but Mike is a guy that takes a lot of hits for everybody else, and he's happy to wear it, and he does it proudly, and he's unbelievable at it. And Donnie's kind of similar, kind of a fiery guy, a little bit behind the scenes. You see it come out now and then, on the field, but he's a guy people can root for and a guy people can get behind.
Absolutely. And whenever I was in that press conference, I had the chance to sit in with so many of the different legends. Rob King was there from.
Wait, did you just say legend and Rob King in the same sentence?
You're not a Rob King guy? Uh-oh.
Rob King. Rob.
Another promo. Here we go.
Rob King, you're a Jagoff too.
Oh.
You and Roger Lenhart, both of you, Jagoffs.
Both of them are Jagoffs.
Two call-outs in one episode.
Two call-outs.
Yeah.
We're going to get all the former guests
Rob
in the room
King might
together.
be the nicest human being I've ever worked
Love
with in my
Rob
entire
King.
life.
It felt like
He pulled me aside my first month on the job and
Did he?
Oh my God, and just gave me heads up on stuff, and I'm forever thankful for how that man treated me. But you're still a Jagoff, Rob.
Still a Jagoff. I saw him giving back to so many other students there too. There were some interns there. He took the time to speak with.
He's the nicest man.
They had to tell him they're like, okay, Rob, we need you over here now, because he was just trying to help out.
He's the nicest guy on planet Earth. So yeah, Rob King, guys, you saw legends.
Yeah,
Rob
saw so
King.
many legends there, and someone else that I saw yesterday for the first time was actually Seth Hernandez, the number one overall pick.
Yeah.
I had a chance to meet him.
I will not call him a Jagoff because I don't know Seth Hernandez.
You do not know Seth Hernandez, but I had a chance to meet him.
And I hope Seth has a great career.
I hope so too, and he was such a good guy in the hall. A very firm handshake, which you love to see. Yeah. Very firm handshake, and I wanted to get your thoughts. I don't know how much you've kept up with Hernandez.
On Seth Hernandez's handshake?
Not his handshake, just in general.
Shake.
You never shaking his hand? Well, it's very firm. Let me shake your hand real quick.
Yeah.
It's just like that, nice and firm.
That was an average to good handshake.
Really? Okay, I didn't want to squeeze, but
try it again.
Try again. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
there we go. Yeah,
it's like Adrian Peterson's handshake. Did you ever see?
I've seen Adrian Peterson.
Do a search for Adrian Peterson handshake, man. He'll break your knuckles. Go ahead.
So, what's your thoughts on him? Do you think what do you think about him?
He's 18.
18.
Who knows?
Your age.
He's my age. He's the same age as me.
He's a college, or
Damn, I'm older.
or he's a high school kid who would be heading into college.
So you're 3 years older than he is.
Thanks for making me feel old.
I don't know.
Thanks.
Yeah, 21. You're 21, right?
I am 21.
GFY. Awesome. I'm not going to say that on the air. GFY.
Don't break up brick roads and we're good.
No, he, look, man, it can go either way. You look at Corona High School in California, look at all the talent that they produced. Mm-hmm. They produced a ton of talent over the years. So the track record's there. It seems like the pedigree is there. It seems like the stuff is there. But who knows, you don't know how it's going to be scouting is only so much. Same thing in football. Like, you might see this kid who's just a dominant athlete and, $1 million arm and a 10-cent brain. We've all seen a few of those,
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I know nothing about Seth Hernandez. I've seen him talk. I've seen his press conferences. I saw him, go on the air with the guys in the booth. And he seems outstanding. I'd be excited if I were a Pirates fan. But he's 18, and we got to stop pinning our hopes on 18-year-old kids. And that's not a knock on you, but let the kid just go play.
Yeah.
Let him go pitch, let him throw, and when he's ready, he'll tell you he's ready, and hopefully the kid has a great career. Because we look so far into it. Who the hell knew who Seth Hernandez was before he was drafted? Let's be honest.
That is true.
Nobody.
Great point.
Nobody knows. So how the hell do you know if you could like it or dislike it? We don't know. We don't know. It's like Tamar Johnson, right? Tamar had seemed to have all the tools, and by all accounts, he seems like he's having a very good minor league career. But let the kid come up when he's ready. Let's not rush it. Same thing with Bubba Chandler. It's all I hear. Bubba Chandler. I want to punch myself in the face if I hear call Bubba Chandler up one more time. How many guys have come up and struggled just because we want to hurry him up? Just let him get ready. Same thing with Seth. Stop the hype. Calm it down. Let him go pitch.
Let him go pitch. That's what we have to do. Robbie, it's always great to have you on the podcast.
You're the man.
We love having you on. But before we end up today, we got to have some
no
fun.
Problem. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
We got to have some. Oh, good. You were going to say something?
No, I was going to say, Lucas, you are no longer a Jagoff.
I'm no longer a
Beef
Jagoff.
is squashed.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, tune into the social media.
Why would I, a 49-year-old man, fight with an 18-year-old kid?
That is true. Why would you?
Well, whenever you mention it like
What am I
that.
gaining by that? What is to be gained?
That is
Say,
true.
Lucas, you're a Jagoff. In a friendly way.
I'll embrace it.
You'll embrace it?
I'll embrace the
it,
Jagoff.
Lucas.
You're finally going to embrace it. Love to
I've
see
been
it.
embracing it.
That's some nice character development on your end.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, let's have some fun to end off today. We did a game show last time. I
let's
forget
do
what
it.
we did. Lucas is usually the host of a lot of these game shows. So now that he's actually here in the flesh, I'm passing it over to you. Lucas, this is
Lucas,
impromptu Lucas Carries.
Do you know what the hell you're talking about?
I know that we're doing this or that.
This or that?
This or that.
Oh, gosh.
Austin, you recommended this, so I'm doing it.
All right. It gives me a chance to answer one message that...
No worries at all.
So, what game show did you play whenever he was on the first time?
I think we did a do you remember what we did by any chance? I think it was an STBC, a Star
STBC,
Trade
that's what I was thinking.
Star Trade Venture Cut. Do you remember what that is, Robbie?
I have no idea what that
Okay.
is.
Okay, well, this
Floor is yours.
this one is basically just like a would you rather kind of. So I'm gonna give you two options, and you're gonna basically just pick which one you like better.
All right.
This or that. And we've done this with several guests. It's actually
Yeah,
a fan favorite.
Let's
The
do it.
fans love this one. It's so random.
I love this.
So
would you rather fight one 10,000-pound duck or 10,001 pound duck?
It's pretty much
yes,
that kind of fun.
that is it. That is it.
Because I'm here for it.
Robbie's embracing it. We love to see it.
So something I always do on the podcast, and something that is highly requested by some of our behind-the-scenes friends, is my color segments. I spend time researching and finding the most random color names you could think of, but it's an actual color. You could go to a store and you could request for it to be made, and they'll make it for you.
You can paint your bathroom wall with it, Robbie.
You could make your
Like Pink the singer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like
one of Austin's favorite of all time was Tickle Me Pink
there is Tickle Me Pink.
and Mac and Cheese Yellow. Those were his two favorite colors I've ever asked.
Mac and cheese yellow. Okay. All right.
So I found two new ones for you, Austin. You've also never seen these before.
Oh, this is new for me. Oh,
This is
God.
new for you.
Robbie, we're in this together. We're playing this together.
Well, it's good.
So the first one.
Called organic.
Yeah, here, strap in. Strap in. You're not ready
That
for this.
handshake sucked, by the way.
That was a horrible handshake. That was a Baker Mayfield handshake.
No, he just headbutt you.
Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, he's like a dead fish handshake.
Was it just like a little lob? Like a little, yeah.
So the first one I have for you guys is Mountbatten Pink.
That's not pink. That's not pink.
What?
Mountbatten.
What the hell is that? What are you asking me?
Well, I'm going to show you another color, and then you're going to choose which one you like better.
Okay, all right.
So that's the first one.
I've
Austin,
never
can you
heard
see?
of Mountbatten.
I can see it. Mount.
Got it?
That's
Yeah,
not.
I got you. All right, that's a cool color. I love that you call it color, by the way. Can I tell you something? How do you say that? Color.
Keller.
Yeah. Mitch Keller is a pitcher for the Pirates.
Oh my goodness.
Keller, that's color is black. That's yellow. That's blue. That's white. It's color.
I know. I
Thank
get
you,
called out
Lucas.
all the time.
You're
for
a
it.
Jagoff with how you say that.
Keller there.
No, color.
Color
Say
there.
color.
Color.
I love you, Pittsburgh. I love this city. I don't know why.
That's
you
the
call it-
Pittsburgh
Why do you
accent.
say Keller? It's color.
I agree with you on that one. It's color.
All right, Mountbatten Pink.
And then the next one is Salmon Berry.
What is that? First one.
First of all, it's salmonberry.
Salmon, sorry.
Ah, you got called out.
So do you.
So pick the color.
You gotta pick which one you like better.
It's as simple as that.
I like the first one, Mountbatten.
Mountain
pink.
Berry
Yeah.
or pink.
Why is it? What is this relevant for?
It's the thing.
Why does
It's
anybody watching care what color I like?
You would be surprised. We have about over 3,000 people that request this segment highly. I don't know why, but it's been an
colors?
ongoing on colors. It's
one
been
of people.
colors.
One of people's
3,000 of you need help.
one of the favorite things that I always do every time I take over is ask about colors, and everyone enjoys it for
That's
some
cool.
reason.
I mean, that's a cool hat. I like your.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
I wore it because I knew you were with the
Like
Pirates.
a vintage. Yeah, I
I knew you were-
appreciate
yeah.
that. That's a nice
Got a little Pirates cup here too for it as well.
vintage color. I like that. All right, I'll be
Half-
taking this home with me.
The other side has Point Park on it too.
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
That's nice. I like that.
One at an event.
Might take this home with me.
2 Jagoffs cup.
Take everything home.
Take everything.
I have a new set next episode.
You said- There you go. Maybe you bring your book in next time. We're gonna have that on set
Well,
as
I
well.
gotta have it printed first. I would love to come back once I have it. We're about to go off to the printer soon, so hopefully.
Are we
around
gonna
fall-
Are we gonna get 2 signed copies for the 2 Jagoffs?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I'm gonna sign it to Lucas. You jagoff.
I don't know if you remember this or not. Do you remember Mr. Jack Dean when we were in the car the one time you were messing with him? He was the not the other Jagoff, but like he's a behind the scenes guy. It was the
think
day.
so.
It was the first time you ever talked to him, and I texted you and you said,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the nickname you gave him?
"We can't say it on air, but do you remember the nickname you gave him?"
I could technically say it.
What? Vaguely. What I gave Lucas?
Jack.
What was it? Well, don't.
I can't do it. I can't.
Go ahead. What is it? Oh yeah. Well, you're just taking the G out of the word and replacing it with a CK.
They know the context.
That's like, but Jagoff is specific to Pittsburgh.
It is specific to Pittsburgh, which is why we fully embrace it. And the cool thing is, too, I meant to say this earlier whenever we were going on the whole Jagoff tandem. My tagline actually with wrestling is Pittsburgh's favorite Jagoff because like a lot of different
Right, great,
wrestlers,
as you should.
and I fully embrace it, and the wrestling community loves it.
Right.
They love to see it.
I would too.
They love to see it.
That's fantastic.
Robbie, you're an amazing
All right,
guest,
guys.
as always. We really do appreciate you coming on. First time with Lucas as well. You guys
I loved it.
finally
Lucas,
squashed
I
the
enjoyed
beef.
it, man. Thank you for having me.
We'll have to
Of
make that in the promo and anything. Was there any final words that you wanted to leave with Lucas, myself, or the listeners of 2 Jagoffs at all?
I would say thank you for the opportunity to talk about my book, first of all, RobbyInc.com, ROBBYINC. When you're publishing it on your own, you want to sell it on your own. I wanted to be control of everything with regard to this project. So that's why I launched my own personal site to do this, number one. Number two, thank you guys for having me, man. Keep doing the right thing, and good luck as you start college.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Lucas, anything final you wanted to add on as well?
No, I'm glad I got to finally meet the guy that called me a Jagoff on air.
And two, this is Robby Incmikoski sitting in between 2 Jagoffs.
Oh, we love it. Clip that. Clip that right now on socials. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in. This podcast wouldn't be possible without your guys' support. Make sure you go like, subscribe, comment down below what you think of Robbie. We'll have to bring him back again. Robbie, you're always welcome.
Once
Open
the
invites.
book comes out, maybe we'll do a 3rd round.
Thank you guys very much. We'll see you in the fall.
See you in the fall. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you all on Sunday. Peace.